A San Francisco shelter that was on the verge of shutting down will now remain open thanks to a well-known nonprofit in the city and a generous donor. St. Anthony's teamed up with the Kaplan Family Trust to buy the Oasis Inn on Franklin Street. At the start of the pandemic, that hotel was converted into a shelter for families experiencing homelessness. The property owners had been preparing to put the hotel on the market before this deal was reached with St. Anthony's. The city of San Francisco is planning to pay to keep that shelter running for the next 9 years. For more on this, we're joined now by Nils Behnke, the CEO of St. Anthony's. Nils, always appreciate you taking the time with us. Thank you for doing it. This sounds like such an important agreement here that was worked out. What does this mean for families experiencing homelessness who have been staying at the Oasis Inn?
Well, first of all, they can continue to stay there, and our partners at Providence Foundation can continue to provide the services that they've been providing over the last couple of years, really run a very good shelter program. But I think what's even more exciting is that we will combine that with the other services that we provide at St. Anthony's to really get these people who live in the shelter today, you said it, women, children, families, into a position where we can help them to sustainably exit this cycle of homelessness and poverty that they're often caught in.
Yeah, so run down. What sort of additional services will St. Anthony's be offering to the residents at the Oasis Inn moving forward?
Well, the first thing that we're going to bring to the table is our health services. We have a medical clinic and a recovery program for substance and alcohol use. As you know, we have a whole number of more existential services. That includes food services, hygiene services, free clothing. All of these will be available. But I think what's especially exciting is that we actually will make a long-term commitment to the residents there and integrate them into our workforce development programs and our transitional employment if they so desire, and hopefully help them to gain stability in their lives, not just for themselves, but especially for the kids.
How many of the families in San Francisco with children who are experiencing homelessness rely on this particular shelter that, as we mentioned at the top, was set up at the start of the pandemic at the Oasis?
Well, we provide about, or I should say, in the Oasis Inn, there are about 58 rooms for these families, and they're mostly taken. So we estimate that every year we can help 300, 400 people to exit homelessness from the Oasis Inn. Shelter. I should also say just today something really exciting happened, and I think it speaks to how this model can work. Some of the people in our organization actually became aware of a mother and her 8-year-old child that were seeking refuge in our church at St. Boniface, and were able to provide them to some of our services. That was including no clothing, the hygiene services, and they were able to actually find emergency shelter for both of them at the Oasis Inn today. Oh, and that literally happened today.
That is fantastic to hear. I appreciate you sharing that with us. Can we step back for a moment and talk about what it took to get this agreement done, to make sure that this shelter stayed open? I want to put up a tweet here from San Francisco Supervisor Dean Preston, because I know that he was a part of this effort to spearhead this project. Maybe we don't have the tweet. I will paraphrase, however. He said, "Words cannot describe the joy I feel with this news." He says the Oasis has saved lives and provided dignity, respect, security, and care to vulnerable San Franciscans. What did it take? What did this coalition of political leaders, nonprofits, private donors look like, and how did everyone come together to preserve this shelter and make sure the owners didn't sell?
Yeah, well, it was really initiated by the Kaplan Family Trust. You mentioned that. They came to us and said, we heard about the situation, and we actually want to help St. Anthony's with our generous gift to buy the shelter. And we were just floored by their generosity, and our board of the St. Anthony Foundation said, well, in that case, we're going to match the funds. So we came to the city and said, what is it that we can do? And we decided that the best way for us is to partner really on this. So the city made a long-term commitment to fund the shelter services that are provided by Providence Foundation. We're, in effect, becoming the landlord of Providence. But as I pointed out, it is so much more than a real estate transaction. It is really for us, a best practice program, what needs to be done for the people in need. We really feel this is a demonstration project that shows what can be done to get people out of this situation, but it also shows what's possible in a public and private partnership where several nonprofits and the city work together to help those most in need.
All right. Really appreciate you coming on today to share with us this important news here about the Oasis Inn and the shelter there for families experiencing homelessness. Nils Behnke from St. Anthony's, we always appreciate your time. Thank you for doing it.
Thanks for having me.